How would you like to learn the secrets of two Karma Club Award winners on how they have built successful online businesses from almost nowhere to now running multiple 7 and 8 figure businesses by following the simple fundamentals of life? And let's see how they have used the powerful funnel systems, processes, automation, and social media to help their business grow at a different pace. Let's dive into their journey to grasp the strategy, mindset, action plan of how they have done it from almost nowhere to the way up to 7 figures. We are going to uncover and pick their brains of the top performing entrepreneurs on this show, how they have done it and how you can do it too. You are listening to the Nikhil Sai, the host, and welcome to the Nikhil Sai Show.
What's going on? What's going on, everyone who's actually listening to this podcast right now? First of all, guys, welcome to the Nikhil Sai Show, which is hosted by me, the Nikhil Sai. And guess what's going on today? We are back with another amazing interview. Today, we have another amazing two Karma Club winner. This is quite crazy journey because today the guest who's actually hopping on is not a normal person. He's coach of the coaches. He's the vice president of Think and Courage Institute. I mean, the journey is pretty amazing. I believe if you're a coach, consultant, or an entrepreneur, even agency owner who wants to book more, close more clients, and deliver great value and results, this is definitely going to be a valuable podcast. So make sure to stick around. I mean, this dude has promised himself to become a millionaire when he was 17 and started his business. And pretty crazy, he started to scale really fast. And in past 5 months, he has done over $1 million, which is freaking amazing. So he's been mastering the high ticket sales stuff, coaching the coaches, and pretty amazing stuff. And again, guys, let's not waste your time. And actually, let's welcome the two Karma Club winner, Armin Shafi, CEO at High Ticket Coaching. Hey, Armin.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Yeah, absolutely. Pleasure to have you, Armin. We are very excited for this podcast.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the introduction. I'm like, you're talking. I'm like, man, is that me? That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to look back and see like how far we actually came in the journey, right? And it's all a journey. And I believe you're still in the step one of where you're going to be going, bro. Like this is
100%.
going to be
We're just
crazy.
getting started. We're just getting
Yeah,
started.
absolutely, brother. So, Armin, we would love to hear like a backstory. Like, how did all of this crazy journey started?
I went to a Tony Robbins seminar. I mean, the actual truth is, up until about at 17, I was introduced to network marketing. And
Mm-hmm.
so I learned about like network marketing. I'm like, man, I mean, it taught me that I could believe that I can do more than just what school was telling me. And then I tried to do that for about 3 years. So at 20 years old, so 3 years of just like kind of trying different business ventures and a bunch of door-to-door stuff, telemarketing.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I got email to go to a Tony Robbins event, and I'm like, I love Tony Robbins. I see all his YouTube videos. Let me go get some motivation. And then I went there and I saw this guy on stage, man. I saw him with 11,000 people in a room, changing people's lives, being in love with his wife, being worth $400 million. I'm like, this is the pinnacle of what life could be, and I want to have this. I just made up my mind that like I'm going to do what he's doing, and I'm going to do better. And so I kind of went on this journey. Within 2 months after that, I had my own seminar. It was a free seminar for 7 hours, and I had 48 people in that. It was free, and I started to pretty much repackage what I was learning from Tony Robbins and NLP, and I obsessively learned about his books and everything. And so I told everyone, I'm like, I'm teaching you Tony Robbins stuff. And they're like, okay. And I was a 20-year-old kid sitting there teaching them life lessons and doing interventions. It was crazy. That was where it
Mm-hmm.
started 5 years ago. And then for 3 years, I just kind of struggled the whole idea of business because I was an artist. It's like, when you're a great chef, it doesn't mean you know how to build a successful restaurant, right? Like
Yeah.
have a successful restaurant, you got to know business skills. And I just had an artistic skill to understand people and get in breakthroughs, but I didn't know how to build a business. So I suffered for
Mm-hmm.
3 years. I had very low profit margins. I'd never even tracked my finances very well, but I was doing seminars. I was teaching. All these people would come, hundreds of people in my events. And it wasn't until I went online and I started to invest into mentorship and coaching. In the last 2 years alone, I've invested $500,000 cash into my own development, learning from the best in
Wow.
the industry. 100 grand of that was just the best person in the industry doing challenges, working with the top leaders. And I'm like, let me spend a day with you for 100 grand I spent. And so the secret of my success became taking all the money I had and what I was making, and I was putting it back into myself, back into mentors, back into coaching, so that I can
Mm.
find people who have what I want, find out the gap between them and me. So what are they doing and thinking and saying that I'm not doing and thinking and saying, and then closing those gaps. The more gaps I closed, the faster I was climbing this, ladder of success where, we went from 200, only 50 grand in 2020 to 1.7 million in 2021. And you said 1 million that came just from a 5 month span. So it was just about leaping by using mentorship and coaching as a hack to just kind of leap forward and climb that ladder.
Yeah, brother. I think that really gives the moral of the story, which is like invest in yourself. Like if you know there is a gap between you and what you want to become,
Mm.
find someone who has done that and just go and grab that knowledge and
That's
implement
it.
it. That's pretty amazing. I mean, appreciate you sharing your journey, brother. And guys, just to mention, this guy who's actually with us is an award-winning international speaker. I mean, you can just sense that by his speaking skills. So let's get to the next question, brother. This will be pretty amazing. I mean, you've been building a coaching business, not just like any other coaching business, but more about a community driven business. I mean, you're so obsessed with like building a tribe and a community, a cult of people who are actually trying to impact one another in a positive way, right? So, like, how does that look like? Like, how to actually build a high ticket coaching community? How you have done it so successfully?
Yeah. So I mean, when people go like, I want to build a high ticket audience, I want to get a high ticket client, high this, high that. I own highticketcoaching.com. So I may
Mm-hmm.
just know a few things about high ticket, and I'll share this with you. High ticket is really just a perspective, right? Any
Mm,
person could be a high ticket client. It's not about finding them, it's about making them. Yeah. So the same audience that was paying only a grand or 300 bucks for a seminar of mine are also the same people that are willing to drop 10,000 or up to 50,000 or work with me in my programs. But it's because I had to evolve. I had to change my business model so that it could compensate. It can meet high ticket at where people at high ticket are at. So it can give that kind
mm,
of value. So I can charge 10 times more. It's not just because I charge more. Hey, I want to increase my price because I feel like it. No, it's like I really stepped up my game. I went from just being okay with getting some results to making sure I get the fastest and the best results in the industry. I can't say I have that yet, but I'm working towards it. It's a goal for me. We've created millionaires within months in time in our programs. But there's a lot of great programs out there. But my goal was to beat my old self. My old self was like, I never made a millionaire. So I focused on that and we made 5 last year. And so because of that, the stories, they went viral. And then we had dozens and dozens of 6-figure coaches. I just got so obsessed with creating a great product and a great
mm-hmm.
business and a great client acquisition system that people just started to hear. 30% of our sales came from just referrals, like our own clients saying you got to be here. And so
Wow.
that's what building a high ticket coaching community was about. It was about us leveling up, like me leveling up, me and my team. It wasn't about me changing the offer so it's for only high ticket. It was like I had to make sure I am high ticket. And high ticket
Mm,
meaning I'm not just coaching people, I'm not just giving advice, but I'm really owning the expertise of what I'm teaching. I've thought about everything from the consulting side of it, the coaching side of it, the teaching side of it, the experience side of it. Is giving a full immersion of an experience to my clients is what took me from struggling with low profits to working 16 hours a day in events business to having
mm-hmm.
a streamlined 70% net profit business, making millions online. And so it was just understanding from those mistakes, man. Like building high ticket it's about you. It's not about finding those people. It's about being that and those people show up. Or those people
True.
that you already have become high ticket, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a beautiful perspective. I mean, I think it really comes down to like nailing down with your product. If you really have a great product, I mean, 30% referral, it's like it really proves that you have like a great product and especially results because results get you referrals, not great product, results, like what outcome you're achieving is really getting you the outcome, brother. I think that was really, really beautiful. Let's get to the next question. Now, like everyone is obsessed with this keyword, like all the internet, especially the quickness community itself, is like, I want to be a high ticket coach. I want to be a high ticket coach. Like everyone is like jumping up one on the other and like cracking down offers like crazy, right? It's been like pretty red ocean overall, like with this high ticket coaching offers, like, and it's like what this guy is doing, I'm gonna literally copy that and add an extra bonus. Doesn't work that way, right? So we'd love to hear from you, like the expert of high ticket coaching, how to actually build a successful coaching offer which people can fulfill on.
Yeah, so I did a whole challenge called the Viral Offer Challenge a couple months ago, and I broke down the 6 elements of what makes an offer viral, which is
Mm-hmm.
what makes it worth 5 or 10 grand or more. And it came down to like 6 elements. And when you check out Viral Offer Challenge, you could learn what those are. We give away the course for like close to nothing, but making an offer that's successful has less to do with you and more to do with who you're serving, right? So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know everything about the person you're helping with your offer, then your offer isn't viral or high ticket yet. Just charging a high ticket price for it doesn't mean anything. Anyone could get your money, but who can keep that money? Who can not have disputes and chargebacks and refunds? Who can still keep the client buying even after? I've my retention with my highest ticket clients, which are 30 and $50,000 clients in my elite program, my 7-figure leadership program. that's like super high. Like people will renew and pay the same amount again just to stay. So it's not like a successful offer isn't your ability to sell it first time to somebody and get their money. The success of the offer comes much long after you've taken their money. Then you know the offer actually works. Like if it converts, it converts. But some of them might die out. There's so many gaps and holes into it. So what makes it successful is knowing more about the person you're helping and making it less about what you have to offer, more about what they need. And a lot of people in this space, and I've seen this over hundreds of coaches at this point, a lot of people in the space, they get their opinions mixed up in their marketing. So they get so attached and so married with like what they want to say and what they think is right and what they think people need that that their egos get in the way, or like their attachment to what they want to say gets in the way. And then they rob their audience of like the real value they need, because the audience wants something else. They want something, but they don't want what you think they need. And so I say this a lot, but the program you're selling, right? The offer and the program you're selling has nothing to do with your marketing.
Yeah.
So the success of your offer has to do with how well you can say things, your messaging, that clearly and concisely communicates to your niche. I'm here for you. This thing I'm doing is going to help you do this thing. The clarity in that is better, is how you get the client. And it's not about the program itself. In the program, you might teach much more than what they signed up for. And that's just what happens inside. Marketing is about simplifying it down to the clear and concise message. Hey, I want to help you do this thing. And the stronger and more clear that is, that's what makes the offer successful. You know, and the one last thing I'll drop is a lot of people try to make it sound sexy and compelling, but your rule of thumb in marketing is clear is more important than compelling. Clear always beats compelling. Someone has an unclear offer, but it sounds really sexy and compelling. It's really cool words. They'll always do less in conversion than the person who just says, I help you start real estate. You know, like if they say something very clear, people go, I want that. So clarity is marketing, not compelling or writing good copy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was definitely on face for a lot of entrepreneurs who's kind of trying to add some cool name modules, right? But it's the same information, right? So I believe like the marketing message.
I love Russell, but it's the Russell fever. You want to make everything sound cool. Because if people try to do that though, before they're clear on what they're saying.
Yeah.
Clarity is what converts, not compelling copy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people are like overdoing it. Let's say like if that's a DM script, they'd be like, this is a ninja high ticket 8-figure DM script, and this guy's like making like 5
I've literally seen offers named Ninja Tactics. What does that even mean?
That means a Japanese fight tutorial, I guess.
The entire offer's name is Ninja Superhuman Tactics for $997. I'm like, what?
Yeah, the program name isn't clear, like what's the outcome we're getting out of, right? Like pretty crazy stuff. And I mean, like one of the great things you've been doing is you have been scaling up left and right with organic appointments booking. I mean, oh my God, like I said, they stay on top of anything, right? So we'd love to hear more about like how did you book consistent appointments using organic traffic? So how did that look like?
Yeah, like we book like close to 30 calls in the last like 24 hours organically, and still coming through. Like we booked like I think 12 today alone. It's insane.
Oh my God.
We're really scaling the whole booking appointments for sales calls, and it really comes down to a simple process, right? You got to understand, like, to make money in your business, to scale that income, you need to make sales. To make sales, you need calls. Actually, I have something here I would love to bring up. Let me bring this up. I just gave this to a client just the other day.
Yeah,
it's a cool little framework for everyone that they can use. I'm just going to read it out. So here it is. So it's pretty simple, like organic simple. To make sales, you need book calls. To make book calls, you need to have new conversations every day. To make new conversations, you need to have leads. Leads meaning people that engage with your posts, liking them, commenting them, friend requesting you. Anything is a lead if they engage with you, right? Yeah. To have leads, you need to have posts that grab attention. So you need to write good stuff or publish good stuff that gets attention, that gets them to engage, which makes them a lead, makes the conversation, which makes the call, which makes the sale. And here's the thing: to get leads engaging with the content, you need an audience big enough to see it. So if you have 2,000 friends on Facebook, you have 3,000 to go to add, right? If you're on Instagram, you gotta invest into getting yourself on other pages so people can hear about you. So if there's not enough people seeing what you're putting out, it doesn't matter how, because there's no exposure, no eyeballs at it. And to have more friends on Facebook or more followers on Instagram, you need to add more people, or they need to add you. Now, the way to get more people to add you, and this is really where the secret to our hyper organic system has been getting all our coaches results, is you need to go viral. And people don't really do that. That's why they put content every day out, and it's like nothing kind of catches.
Yeah.
But the ability to go viral is what gets you hundreds of free leads organically. And like as I'm speaking to you right now, I think I have 5 posts in just like big Facebook groups that are in the 300 to 400 range of likes and comments right now. That's viral. Like, so that's thousands of leads sitting that my setters can go out and talk to people, and we can talk to them. There's an opportunity for appointment setting. And so you need to post in other groups. You need to show up on your Facebook. You need to post things on Instagram or get on other people's Instagram pages in order to go viral. Because when you go viral, people add you as friends. When they add you as friends, they're a lead. You can reach out to them, have a conversation, book a call, close a sale. It doesn't get simpler than that. It's pretty simple, man. Like, you just need to follow that process. Like, go viral, get the traffic to the lead, to the conversations, the book call, to the sale. That's all organic's about. It's just not as sexy, but to what works. It's how we went to 650 grand a month. Just, after I, gave away ads and webinars and all these funnels, it's complicated my business,
Yeah, I think that was simple as ABC, brother. Pretty on point, like pretty much definitely. I think you simplified the appointment booking process like to the ground. I mean, everyone is like, hey, you need like 6 hours of webinar with 200 registrants, and you need this offer page with webinar page and opt-in page, upsell, order bump. Like, you're like, crap. Post the content, get attention, get them to engage with you, have a conversation, book and close and deliver. Yeah, that was pretty much on point, brother.
Like, just to add on, like, I just want to give an analogy to close it up. If I use a super advanced, like technologically advanced electronic fishing pole and a normal fishing rod, they're both going to be hooks. As soon as if you put them in the water, they're both going to catch fish. It doesn't matter how nice the fishing rod is. What matters is that the amount of times you throw it into the water to have the increase the chance amount you get bites, so you can pull them in. You know what I mean? Like, you just got to publish good, and you got to go viral. That's it. Doesn't matter how fancy the funnels or processes are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the whole game is attention. So you need to hook people with the right story. That's beautiful, brother. And let's get in the next question. I think this would be like more demanding question, surely. Like, left and right, a lot of people. I mean, we see the coaching space is like growing like crazy. A lot of coaches evolving every day. And the main problem we see with especially young coaches and rookie coaches is like they cannot deliver. They kind of stuck with the delivery mechanism. I mean, you guys have been scaling your coaching program to the room by adding hundreds of students like a weekly basis at the next level, right? So we'd love to hear more about like how does the delivery mechanism look like for like a highly scalable coaching program? How can anyone replicate that?
Yeah, so every high ticket program should contain 3 elements: strategies, systems, and philosophy. So you need to have strategies. In a high ticket program, the reason why someone's paying you 5, 10 grand or more is because they want to know your strategy behind things. Strategies that convert, that work. Like, we have a strategy called hyper organic. And then we have a system, which is the sales process of hyper organic, why we call it a hyper organic marketing system. And we give the strategy and we give the system to the client. So they have the system like in their hands. So they have the entire model in their hands, but then they have the strategy behind how to post things, how to think about it, how to go about it, what to do in the ups and downs of it, how to create consistency, momentum. Creating momentum, for example, alone is a strategy, not a system. When you teach a strategy, you give them the system to execute the strategy. So I see a lot of programs they don't they teach you a strategy, but they don't give you a system to execute with. And a lot of programs give you a system, but they don't teach you the strategy about how to make the system work. And so they become a broken program. Like, you go and you don't get results. And the last thing you have to give is a philosophy. And when I say philosophy, I'm modeling like Jim Rohn. You need to have a philosophy in life. You need to have a philosophy in business, a way of thinking about things. So most people have the system and the strategy, but their philosophy is wrong.
Yeah.
About it properly. So it's not just how to think about their marketing or the strategy behind marketing and the system to do it, but their philosophy of business, their philosophy of leadership, their philosophy of coaching, their philosophy of client acquisition is wrong. So I like to put it this way. It's very simple. If you right now look at what you have in life, the results, they're caused by what you've done. And what you've done is only the things that make sense to you. So the way you've been makes sense to you. So because it makes sense to you, you do it. And what you do gets you what you have. So if you don't have what you want, then that means what makes sense to you and how you think is wrong. It doesn't work. Because if it worked, you would have what you have. You would have what you want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's about, we start with the most important thing first, which is the thinking. I teach my coaches a philosophy in business. So they go, oh, I get it now. I know how to think about this to grow this huge. And then we give them the system so they can start doing it. And we teach them the strategies to get the results. Those three elements are the biggest things when it comes to building a high ticket program. That's not just, makes you much money, but actually helps a lot of your clients get results.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of people are missing any of those pillars in their business, and that's kind of cracking their fulfillment system down for sure, right? I believe like exactly what you just mentioned, like philosophy, strategy, and systems are really important so that they can actually get results in the end for the clients. And I believe like most coaches, what they really do when it comes to delivery is like they just add more content, like pump out 200 videos, which is 1 hour long each, like crazy stuff. But yeah, let's go to the next question.
I'll give a little nugget for people watching, for your audience, so that they can actually take action on something. In organic alone, a lot of people focus on consistency. That's wrong. That's a philosophy. That's wrong. Like you think about, I'm convinced, consistency, post every day. It's wrong. Momentum is what you should be focused on, not consistency. I'll give you an example and then we'll move on. Consistency is I need to post every day. But what are you posting for? To get engagement, because engagement creates leads, and leads create conversations. Conversations create calls. Calls create sales. Yeah. Well, what if you post something today and it goes viral and you have like hundreds of leads, and then tomorrow you go consistency, I got to post again. Well, now posting the next day without getting to those leads is going to kill those leads. So you're going to let just all these leads go through your cracks. So consistency isn't the goal. The momentum is, because if you have momentum, that one post you made that does really well, you can ride it for 3-4 days. I had a post one that gave us 7 days worth of leads, hundreds of people commenting on it. And so I never posted until we got to every one of those leads. See, that philosophy alone and that strategy is what makes a difference between your organic and my organic, and why 600 grand versus, $6 grand or 60 grand. So like, that's what you got to focus on, man. Philosophy, systems, and strategy. So.
Wow. Thank you so much, Armin, for that golden nugget. I think that really kind of hits a lot of people on point, especially people who are doing organic. They should be like, oh man, I will be down if I don't post 6 posts today. I'm like, what? Like, right? You just need that one viral post, which can get you hundreds of leads so you can ride that exact moment, right? And I believe momentum is the name of the game. That's amazing, Armin. Let's get to the next question. This is pretty interesting. I mean, oh my God, like not a lot of coaching programs can actually do like $1 million in a couple of months. Like 5 months is like pretty short period. Like how did you manage the scale, the leadership, the team efforts? How did that look like overall when it comes to scaling the program to over the $1 million in just 5 months?
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Well, first of all, motivation. Like you need to know why. Or it's like no point of trying to push yourself to do something that you have no reason to. My reason was very simple. I dreamed about, for 2 years, I was dreaming about winning this thing right here, this 2 Comma Club. And I'm like, well, I want to walk the stage this year and collect it so I can film a documentary. And I have all these plans. So I'm like, I have to make sure we cross 1 million in the US in the funnel so that we can get this award. And so I realized that I was still like 600 grand short for that year. 2 months before the due date to file your 2 Comma Club application. So I'm like, I have to collect 600 grand in cash in 60 days. So I brought my team.
That's a great challenge.
I brought my team together. I'm like, guys, here's the challenge. We got to make more than what we made in the last 4 months in the next 60 days. And we got to do it in cash. They're like, all right, let's do it. So one of my good fortunes were that, for 2 to 3 years now, the people that work in my company today, I've kind of mentored, I've been with, they were with me for a while. So I didn't find them after. The team that I built from scratch was the team that helped me scale and to handle it all. But we had talent to that as well. When you start doing well, like people hear about you, they come over, big companies, their top experts are coming over to our company. But what we did is we put our heads together and we followed a Think and Grow Rich principles, Power Mastermind. And we started to come up with all the ideas of how we're going to hit 600 grand in 60 days. And from that, we came up with a plan. And the way we teach it in Think and Grow Rich is it's not the plan that you come up with that gets you the goal. It's the plan that comes to you in the pursuit of the plan you have. So as we're executing on this plan that we thought was going to be the way, the plan actually showed up and I'm like, we got to do this. And we had a $200,000 day and we had a $650,000 month. And we collected like 800 grand in 60 days, not 600. So we surpassed it. By the time I was filling out the application for 2 Comma Club, we had already crossed we were at like 1.3 million or something. And I'm like, this happened in a span of 60 to 90 days.
Wow.
So I was saying, I'm like, man, you just got to leverage the people that are around you, like mastermind with them to get your goals. have a reason for it. Like I had a very high motivation to make sure it's done by that time. So push me. And third, just make sure you have people that you trust and you have loyalty with so that they can be willing to do whatever it takes with you to hit these goals together. And also compensate them. Like I paid out $100,000 in bonus and payroll and bonuses that month. We hit that to all my team. So everyone got paid, $10,000 each plus their payroll and the bonuses. And I'm like, so we all got to win together. You know what I mean?
Wow. Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, appreciate you actually going in detail on how you have scaled it. I think that's really, really like the primary motivation. I believe everyone need to kind of set that goals and walk through them and just make sure to hit that. Right? Appreciate that, brother. Let's get into other questions. This will be pretty amazing to answer. I mean, you're running a huge coaching business, especially managing high-level clients. You have clients who even up to 50K and above. So, like, how does your project management look like the tools you use to manage your projects and clients for productivity?
Yeah, so we use Close to manage our leads, our sales, and our clients, and then we cross-reference at Monday.com, so we can manage our projects and our clients like client service as well, our customer service, and then with our clients, pretty much those are the two biggest ones we use. You're talking about softwares, right? Like tools to help us manage.
Yeah, software tools. Yeah, how do you manage your productivity?
So before Monday and Close, we were just using Google Sheets, and a lot of you guys are trying to get complicated. Like I have a team of 6 and 7 full-time staff plus extended team on part-time, and we have over 120 clients, and 20 of them are in my mastermind alone, and so we have a big operation going. Like it's not big, like we're just getting started, but like that's a lot of things happening, so we need to introduce ideas of softwares to help us streamline things better. But I didn't even touch that until we were like it was busy enough to need it, so we were running everything on Google Sheets. Like our sales tracker was a Google Sheet. Our customer tracker was a Google Sheet. Our payroll was a Google Sheet. Everything was Google Sheet. So anyone can build $1 million business with Google Sheets. It's after we crossed the million, because we finished close to 1.7 last year, when I started to introduce softwares. But I wouldn't do it until you cross $1 million, because it's going to slow you down. Like learning softwares takes time. You know what I mean? It takes at least 3 to 4 months of adaptability to adjust to it. So
yeah, I agree. People like to complicate the tech stuff and just say that, oh, we need this to hit that. But the reality is you hit that, then you use this, right? It's a reverse psychology.
Zoom runs our entire business. I have like 1 million hours of Zoom recordings. Like Zoom runs the entire business. Yeah. That is
wow.
It's Slack as well. Slack we use for internal communication with our elite clients, but also inside of our company. We run it through with everything, like everything through Slack. So I hope that helps, those softwares that we use, the major ones.
Yeah, awesome, brother. And you're like the VP of Think and Courage Institute. So I mean, we're very strong on the kind of rituals and routines and stuff like that from Think and Courage. I mean, it's a book which impacted like millions of people for sure. So I'd love to hear like how does Armin Shafi's daily routine looks like? Do you kind of follow any routines right now?
Yeah, I'll give you a simple one. If anyone wants to kind of model what I do, I'll just give you a simple thing I do. When I wake up, I say, "Good morning, God." I have this like lighthearted feeling when I wake up. I'm just happy to be awake. I'm happy to have another day where I get to do what I do. And as soon as I wake up, I just feel joy. I focus on the feeling of joy. A lot of people wake up, they're stressed. They grab their phone. They're thinking about yesterday. They can't let things go. And I'm not saying I don't have things that weigh me down. I just learned to let them go. A good book to help you teach you how to let things go is Untethered Soul. That's a really good book. I've read that 3 times. My whole team has read it. I gave it to them to read. So when I wake up, I just feel very light. I'm excited. I'm like, "Good morning, God," or infinite intelligence, universe, whatever you believe. And when I wake up, I'm like, "Good morning, God," and I grab a book. I drink a glass of water. I grab a book and I start reading as soon as I wake up in my bed. Like I grab a book and I start reading, because when my mind's fresh, I'm introducing education. I'm feeding the mind. So I feel so good right away, because the first thing I'm doing is I'm learning. And then I read my goal out loud to myself, for that month, that year, whatever. And then I stretch. I like to stretch, man. The body is a physical extension of the mind. So if you're stiff and your body feels like shit, your mind's gonna feel like shit. So I grab, my foam roller. I like to, crack my back. I like to stretch myself out, maybe do a couple of push-ups, get blood flowing. And after that, after about 30 minutes of just reading and doing that kind of stuff, and writing my gratitude journal, I have a journal I like to set up, and I just write down 3-4 things I really love. And like from yesterday that happened so I can remember. So I document kind of what's happening in my life. And then I go out and either work out, or I go to meditate, or I get into my day and, I go for a walk, or I'll get like a decaf coffee and I enjoy that. So I'll do things that make me feel really good and I love, that makes me happy. I like to play the piano and sing. So I might do that if I got some time before a meeting. So I uplift my spirit, my emotion right off the bat in the mornings, and I put myself in state. So by the time I get into meetings and work, I'm bringing this joyful energy to everything. Clients love working with me. They're infected by my energy. My team is excited. I'm playing music on our meetings. That's kind of how I roll. Like my daily routine is that. Then I just work. I work and I make sure I don't burn myself out. I become very conscious of how much energy I'm putting out. So as I'm going throughout the day, if I feel like I'm really pushing myself and just being unkind to my body, I'll stop. I'll cancel a meeting. I'll go for a walk real quick. I'll maybe take a nap. Like whatever it takes for me to make sure I manage my energy and I protect that joyful feeling I have so it doesn't go away. I do that and I protect it. And then by the end of the night, I do more things that I love. Like after I'm done what I do, 7, 8, 9 o'clock, I'm hanging out with friends, or I'm talking to my loved ones I love, and I'm playing more music, or if I watch something entertainment, something educational, and I like to sleep early so I can wake up and feel rested, not because I got to wake up at 5 a.m. Conquer the world. It's a nonchalant, like joyful feeling. I just want to wake up when I want to wake up without an alarm and just feel good about it. So that's kind of my daily. That's how I manage my gliding through life.
Awesome. I mean, appreciate you going in detail. That was pretty insightful for sure. I think that can really help a lot of coaches to kind of model that routine and make it really simple. No, not a much complication here. So let's get to the next question, brother. I mean, you've been really, young when you kind of took on that entrepreneurial spirit. Like you want to become like the model of Tony Robbins. You took inspiration, you started a business, right? Like if there is one suggestion you can go back and give yourself, like when you're 20-year-old, so like what would that suggestion look like?
What did I tell myself 5 years ago?
Yeah, like exactly 5 years ago. If you can go back and talk to yourself, what would be the number one suggestion for yourself?
That everything's going to work out. I would never tell myself to change anything. If you ever have the desire to wish things were different, then it's the direct insult to yourself and God and life. Everything happens exactly the way it's supposed to happen. So the only thing I would tell myself, if I went back to the 20-year-old starting out, I'm just going to let that person know. Don't take things too seriously. Have a light heart while you do all this. And no matter what you do, just remember, everything's going to work out. It's all going to be okay.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, I think everybody needs to hear that message right now so that they can feel good about what they're going to be accomplishing, because they can accomplish what they want to. It's just about the stress out themselves when they're in the process, right? It's just about the perspective you look at your journey. It's beautiful, brother.
People stress themselves so much in the process of getting somewhere that they foolishly make the entire thing pointless. Because if you're not even happy or peaceful when you get there, what was the point of the thing you wanted anyways? It was to give you joy, right? To give you some good feelings so you feel better. If I win the 2 Comma Club, I'll feel better. If I make more money, I'll feel better. If I have love, I'll feel better. If I lose the weight, I'll feel better. But feeling better, you can do right now just by the way you think. So
it's in here.
If you just feel like shit the whole time until you get there to feel better, you'll feel better for 10 minutes and then realize getting that didn't make you feel better permanently, but changing the way you operate yourself is what makes you feel better. And so you could have done that from the beginning. So the real wise people I like to learn from are the ones that no matter what they want, they never attach themselves to that thing because they don't care. What they care about is the actual quality of their life in a moment-to-moment basis as they go through everything. So it doesn't matter what they have or don't have.
Yeah, I agree. And the last thing you want to do is have $1 million in bank and be super sad about what you have done so far, right? You need that fulfillment. Fulfillment process for sure. Yeah. Let's get to the next question, brother. Your life's biggest achievement so far and any next bigger goals.
Yeah, well, I said 8 years ago to myself, I'd be a millionaire by 25. I did it. And then I went through a really bad low, went through some personal crisis stuff. And I realized that the money meant nothing. Close to $2 million later, I was sitting there, I was like, I'm miserable. Not because of the money, not because of the business. Personal reasons, like my personal life kind of caught me on a blind sight. Like I wasn't expecting the kind of problems I was challenged with. And that's the thing. Like God grows you when he comes at you in a way where you didn't expect, but that's where the growth is, the unexpected, not the expected. You can't grow when you prepare for something and you get exactly what you prepared for. You grow when you're challenged with something you weren't prepared for and then you figure it out. So I made all this money and then I'm like, the money doesn't mean anything because I have all this money now, but I'm still dealing with so many things that money can't fix. And so for me, I had this beautiful, wise experience where I grew more from it and I'm excited. It prepared me for an 8-figure journey now because to handle a business at $1 million is actually not that hard. You can get by with talent and just really hard work. But to get to 8 figures, $10 million company or more, and you have all this responsibility and thousands of customers and people depending on you for their income and And there's much more. Every decision you make impacts much more than just yourself and a few people. To get to that
Yes.
level, you can't just work hard and you can't just be talented. You have to become a different animal. You have to
True.
think much differently. You have to be strategic in how you do things. You have to have a deeper spiritual connection to what you're doing, or else you're going to not just only burn yourself out, but rob everybody else from the opportunity to find their calling, because you're not even connected to yours. And so for me, my next goal is the 10 million obviously is, mechanically I want to scale to that, but the real goal is I want to get to a place where my company is 10 times the size, but I'm 10 times more joyful than I've ever been. That everything, I feel centered in my life in a way where things are just happening and working in flow. And that has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with leadership, with my mind, with my habits every day, my beliefs, my philosophy of life. And so I'm working harder on myself than I've ever had and than I ever will on my business. And that's why I know the business will grow, because I'm growing.
Wow, because you're the business here. Yeah, that was pretty insightful, brother. Appreciate you mentioning that. I think this would be pretty interesting to answer. Like, I mean, as an entrepreneur, you always take mistakes as learning, but just in case, like, what was the biggest mistake in your life so far? Like, you should leave.
See, there's no such thing as mistakes in life. Because when you made that decision, you felt good about it. A mistake is just somebody going back and thinking to themselves, oh, I wish I did this differently. Why though? Because in the now, they haven't learned what that was good for them for. So a mistake is really just, it's a lie you're telling yourself, man. The negative attitude, it's an excuse for a negative attitude. I made a mistake. No, what you're saying is, I don't know how to think about what I learned from that. Because if you find a lesson in everything you've done, then it's never a mistake. It was a stepping stone. It's like, if I'm at the bottom of the floor and I want to climb the stairs to go to the top, you'll never discriminate which step was more important than the other, right?
Yeah.
When I get to the top, you're going to take the first step, second step. You're not going to be like, I can't take the first 5 steps. I'm going to jump to the 6th. It doesn't work that way. You got to take every step. But imagine you get to the top. Now you look back, and Nikhil, here you ask me, which one of these steps do you feel like was a mistake to step on?
It's hard to just even find out.
Well, bro, every single one of the decisions I made was a step.
Yep.
Whether it turned out the way I thought, not good or bad, whether it turned out the way I wanted it to or not, which when it doesn't, you think it's a bad thing. But I go, then every step brought me to where I am. So a mistake doesn't exist. It's just a bad attitude. You have to look at everything for the productive progression it took you to where you are. So I look at every decision I made in my life, whether it was painful or not, or good or bad, or it doesn't matter. To me, I'm like, it was a step. And the same way I wouldn't discriminate a step in a staircase, I'm not going to discriminate a decision in the process of my growth.
Yeah, that was a beautiful perspective. I mean, for sure. I think entrepreneurs need to have that kind of mindset so that they kind of don't have that negative emotion with anything they have done in the past and stick to it and be like emotionally defamed, right? Appreciate that, brother. Let's get to the next question. Your main inspiration for success, like what really keeps you motivated to get up and do the work every day, and the key people involved in your journey?
There's like 2 questions there.
Yep.
Inspiration and the key persons involved. Key persons involved is easy. President of Think and Grow Rich, Satish Verma. I met him 4 years ago now, and he changed my life. He became like a father to me. And in every part I went through, the in and outs of my life, he was there a call away, and I would spend hours with him on the call, and he would fix all my thinking, man. All the things growing up that messed me up and all what people made me believe. He cleaned my mind, man. Like, he helped me have faith in my own self and belief in myself. He made me what Think and Grow Rich strives to do with people, which is make them bigger. So he was a catalyst still to this day. I was talking to him just 2 days ago. He's a catalyst to everything I am today, and I'll always be grateful for him. His son, Sonny, he's like a big brother to me. He's built a very successful company as well, but he's such a spiritual person. He's a role model to me in many ways because of the way he conducts himself, man, and still makes all this money. I go, man, you're connected to something. And he's so spiritual. I'm like, man, I strive to be as spiritually connected to God as you. So he's a big player as well. And a recent mentor of mine, Ryan Blair, he built a company named Visal, sold it for $800 million. He's a VC investor and just brilliant guy. He runs a company now called UltraCall. And I meet with him every week now. And we go on walks, and, I've invested a lot of money to get close with him. And now we're partnering together, and he's like a father to me as well. He's also helped me really level my game up and raise my standards in what's what is enough, So he's also pushed me to become a great entrepreneur, not just a great person. And those are the three key people. And aside from that, those are my mentors and coaches. Aside from that, I would say my family. My family, I love them so dearly. They love me so much. No matter where I go, up or down, they still love me for who I am. And they've always been an inspiration.
Unconditional.
Yeah, man, love has
Yeah.
always been an inspiring thing to me. So these are the people in my life that I owe all my success to. My main inspiration, man, is a calling. Like I don't know how to say this. It's not woo woo. It's not spiritual. Like it's down to the fact that I saw a vision 5 years ago that this man named Tony Robbins made this much impact in the world. I thought to myself, if he can do it, I can do it. So my main inspiration is living, growing as big as I can in the life I have, and just inspires me. The joy of getting to play this game called life and learn the rules and win at it and have fun in the process and help other people. I don't need something to get at the end of this for me to be working every day. It's because I genuinely love it. Like you don't say what's your main inspiration for watching a movie? What's your main inspiration for playing basketball? What's your main inspiration for playing music? No, because you do it because you want to, because you love it.
Yeah.
So my goals in life and my business is very much like that. It's like dancing to music or singing a song. You don't try to get to the end of it. You just enjoy it and you want to keep doing it over and over and over again. So what's your main inspiration to listen to music every day again? It's because I love it, man. Why would you not want to listen to music? Same way I look at my goals. I love my goals and I love my business. So it's something I have so much joy doing. I'm like, I want to do more of it. That's what gets me
Yeah.
in the morning, man. Not because I need to fix something in my life or I mean in the beginning it was like that, but now it's like I just want to do more things I love.
Yeah.
And achieving my goals are a part of that.
Yeah, that was beautiful perspective once again. I mean, that was so much value here. I mean, I believe like especially coaches and consultants, like experts who wants to give their advice. I think this is a killer podcast, especially for them. Like they could just kind of cut,
Yeah, you
copy,
got to
paste
send this,
what you just mentioned.
you got to send this to me. I want to give it to all my clients to watch, man.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I would definitely send you a copy of this for sure, brother. I mean, yeah, let's get to this question. I mean, maybe a lot of people who are actually listening this far are like, how can I get into like Armin's coaching? So where can our audience find you mentoring, brother?
Yeah, well, even if you wanted to, I can't promise that you'll get in because we qualify pretty hard on who gets in, and there's an entire strategy call you got to get on. And I've trained my team very thoroughly to decline people that we don't think is a fit in our culture. So even though our stuff works, we only want to work with people that we kind of integrate well with. Because one bad person, one person that's not chemically, like you look at two chemicals, you put them in one thing and it explodes, and you put two chemicals and it goes well together. There's some people you just don't get along with. So we do for sure like filter out people that we don't think we can help based on personality and
Hmm.
character and goals and thinking. But if you are fit and you have a hunger and a calling for coaching and you do want to build a business and crush 2022 and work with us, then you can find me on my Facebook, Armin Chaffee. You can find me on my Instagram, which is the Armin Chaffee, and or you could go to highticketcoaching.com. And so you can always reach out to us, book a call, check out our stuff. We have a Facebook group that's awesome. We give so much free resources and their free content, and it's totally free to join. It's called the Viral Offer Challenge for Coaches by Armin Chaffee. So if you just go to Viral Offer Challenge for Coaches, you'll find my Facebook group. You can join that, and we could have some fun.
Yeah, awesome, Armin. So guys, I'll make sure to add the links of his profiles and group and Instagram and whatnot in the description of the podcast. So make sure to check out. And that was beautiful, Armin. Pretty amazing value you have dropped here. Any last word before we conclude the total podcast session for today?
Yeah. In your life, you don't need to know the answer to every question, but there is one question that you have an obligation to always know the answer to. And that question is, what do you want? So if you don't know the answer to that question, you already know where you have to begin in the journey of your personal growth.
That's deep, man. Love that, man. That was a great end, brother. So once again, Armin, thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. It was definitely a amazing interview with so much value. And guys, hope you enjoyed the podcast so far. So stay tuned for the next interview. We will be coming back with another amazing two Comma Club winner. This is me, Nikhil Sai, with Armin Shafi, signing off for today. Peace. Bye, Armin.